The rocking cut we've just been looking at is a really good introduction to the next technique I want to discuss with you, and that's slicing. Slicing the cut, slicing the edge across the wood is what I've called the cut of the carver. It's really important, and I want to show you that now. Here's an exercise I'd like you to do. Just as before, make a stab cut into the wood. It doesn't really matter where. Let's put it in here like that. There's our stab cut. Now, if you lift this leading corner and use your thumb to push, still gripping the tool, but using your thumb to push, you can slide the edge along that cut, look. See? So that now is extending the cut and slicing through the cut here. So I could carry on like this. I could also go in this direction. As long as that's clear, it's not ploughing up the wood, we can come in this direction. Or if we do it the other way around, we can go in like this and like this. Pick up that cut. This time you're pulling with your finger more, pulling towards you, like so. If the tool corner digs in, this is what happens. So you've got to lift that tool corner up. So have a go at that. Have a go at slicing like this. And what you'll find is you can do a light cut to begin with, sort your fingers out. As you come round, you'll find that this tool, look, pretty much meets itself. And that proves that a true gouge is part of a circle, an arc of a circle. It's coming round, like so. Now the other thing you can do is you can take your flat gouge, which we haven't used very much yet, but we will, and press this in, the same sort of stab cut, but push with the thumb, and you'll see we're now making a long slicing cut. So we can push to the left, or we can push to the right. So using my thumb again, push to the right. So practice just slicing the tool, keeping the corner clear and feeling for that cut. So we've seen this gouge will cut this circle. So the sweep of the gouge, the curve, fits that arc very nicely. But there's one other thing you can do with a gouge which is very, very useful and very important. Let me show you. So we'll press this in again and we'll push the cut along like this. So this arc is exactly the same as this circle. But if you lift this corner up a little bit more and you turn the handle, you rotate the handle, as you push forward, you can make it do a tighter cut. So this is a tighter radius. What I can't do is make it flatter. But let me demonstrate with the flat gouge. So this gouge, which is very flat, has a really big circle. So I could carry on off the bench around the other side and I'd come back here, this huge circle of which this is a little bit of an arc. But again, if I lift the handle and turn the blade as I push it forward, I can make it, look, I can bring it right round here. So you can make any carving tool do its sweep, cut its sweep, and cut to some degree a tighter radius. There is a limit to how far you can do this because you then start screwing up the wood, but this is very useful. So I want you to get your tools and practice pushing them along and then turning them as you go, both ways, left and right, like that. Just see what happens and get a feel of these cuts. It's a really fun, very nice thing to be able to do, and it means you can do curves that change shape as you go along. Let's add some of these cuts to the sample board. I'm going to start with going around in the circle to remind us that all gouges, true gouges, ooh, look at that. What I did was I was a little bit off with my twisting, but let me do that again. So I'm coming around here, make sure that it's stabbed in here. So each time I come around, I push it in so that it actually, instead of following lightly in the cut, has something to dig in, some track. So here, okay. So I'll put my sample cut in here. Now I haven't done that very well, and I'm going to blame the fact I'm being filmed, but really I should have done that better. So that's coming round and round here. So there's our circular cut here. Now I'd also like to introduce the idea that you can make any other tool do the same thing. So I'm going to start with my flat gouge as before, and I'm just going to let that follow its arc in a circle. So again, to remind me about the pushing cut. Now over here in this corner, I'm going to put my arch in again, my curve. So pushing in, letting it, and this time be a little bit more careful. So there we go around here. And then what I want to remind myself of is that I can make this tighter. And let me do this with this one. So here's the arch coming over here. And I'm going to turn the blade, come over here. So I put in 2 arching cuts like that. I've got this little area left here, and I'm going to use the same sort of slicing cuts to have a little fun. So I'll start with this first stab cut, and this can be a little mound of earth. Now to make it more interesting, what I'll do is I'll actually stab these corners in, make that a little bit fatter here and here and there. Then I'll swap to my flat gouge, and I'll put the first one here, and I'll slide it out along here, and then I'm going to stab in like that. And then I might put a second one like there, stab in, and then over here I might do it the other way around and stab in up here and actually come to nothing. And the same over here, stab in first, come to nothing. Fairly random. The other thing I can do is put one like that, and then I can join this cut with the other one, so I can pick up that curve and come over here. And I could also over here put stab like this, and perhaps even just a suggestion of one coming down here like that, without even going into the mound. So there's some stalks I've done. Now what we can do is we can put some leaves on. So if you've got your skew chisel, we'll just stab the cut in like this. We can make little stab leaves, and perhaps on the other side, like so. If you don't have a skew chisel, you could certainly use your a medium gouge and stab it in like this. That'll be a different sort of leaf. I put 3 on this side. I might put just 2 on that side, change it up a little bit, perhaps another couple down here. And then the other thing I could do with this, now I've got the skew chisel, I can make a little straight one here. So I can just play around a little bit like that. Now, what I think might be even more interesting is to take a nail. This is just an ordinary nail, as you can see, and I've sharpened the point, rubbed it on a stone. You could do it on any old stone really, just make it into a point, this nail. And having done that, that is now a carving punch, an official carving tool, and you want to keep that for the future, because what you can do is you can make little flower heads by just tapping it in with a mallet, like here, and make little spots. Perhaps I'll fill one in there like that. It's a little cluster of sort of like grass seeds, or I might put one right just at the top here or there. I might put them along here like this. So punching, using punches like this or other ones we make, that's very common in carving. I like this end where you do 3. I think that's quite a nice end. So you might want to put a few over here for just like that for the earth. Anyway, that's the sort of thing. I've made that up as I go along, and it's easy enough for you to do that as well. These cuts that you've been practicing, the running cuts, the rocking or the scooping cuts, the stab cuts and the slicing cuts, all these are fundamental carving techniques that you're going to develop and use again and again as you carve. This little square here is left for the next stage, where I'm going to start looking at relief carving and the various steps that you go through in order to produce a simple low relief.